Salve gente, benvenuti o ben ritrovati e ritrovate specialmente su Black Mirror 2. Ci siamo lasciati nella scorsa puntata di fronte al cancello di Black Mirror. Allora, vediamo, diamo un'occhiata.
The braces on this door are badly weathered. Two have turned to rust and aren't even connected to the door frame at the bottom. The stone figurine is a naked woman, a nymph.
Esatto.
I wouldn't even have dreamed of standing in front of this gate a few days ago. I can't see anything peculiar. It looks just like the photo. It almost looks like time stood still here. The gate is bolted and made of solid iron. There's no way through there.
Se non sei capace a scavalcare.
The lock on the letterbox seems to be damaged. An electric doorbell? I was expecting an old bell. Nothing. Maybe it's broken. Still nothing. Really seems to be broken. Oops. Now it's broken. No, it's broken. Empty. Empty. No way. The braces are only connected to the frame on one side, but they're much more resistant than I thought.
A entrare tocca entrare.
The two stone figures look almost identical. I can't see anything that could be of interest. The two stone figures look almost like... I can't see anything that... The two stone figures... It seems they're a bit more relaxed with nudity here in England. Alright, I don't need to examine it in such detail. It seems they're a bit more... Alright, I don't need...
Allora, un coltello non serve, mi sa. Arnese, forse.
Nah, I'll only break this good lockpicking tool. I need something bigger. I don't think I'm gonna get through this door using skill. No way. The braces are only connected to the frame on one side, but they're much more resistant than I thought.
Fratello mio, non so come aiutarti. Toccherà ritornare a Willow Creek?
The knife isn't new anymore, and also not especially sharp. No good for carving, but you'd sure still be able to cut through something with it.
Allora perché mi dici di interagire con la cassetta delle lettere?
Empty. A really old letterbox. Not pretty, but rare. A really old letter.
No, io ho
No
cliccato
way.
col destro.
Braces are only connected to.
Va bene. Allora, devo cercare il punto dove spiega come fare nel caso. Eccolo qui. A destra c'è un ramo. Ma dove? Ah, eccolo.
There's a really thick branch lying in the undergrowth. Looks solid.
Certo che l'hanno nascosto bene, eh?
It's damp but not rotten. It must have broken off the tree quite recently. Maybe in the storm yesterday. A tree branch, about 1.5 meters long. Pretty sturdy.
Vediamo un po' se così lo apre. Hanno nascosto troppo
Using this
bene.
branch as a lever should work. That's it.
Però sta sempre lì, senza i consigli, qui non vai avanti.
Hey! How did you get in here?
The gate was open.
Really? I'll wring that brat's neck. I've told her 100 times that the gate must always stay closed if we don't want yobbos snooping around the grounds.
If you're referring to me, I'm not a yobo. I'm a policeman.
Oh, you don't say. Then you're sure to have ID. Can I help you, sir?
I've told Mr.
Lewis, good sir. To you, it's just Lewis. You'll take care of this bit. Wonderful. You will have to excuse our gardener, sir. How can I help you?
My name is Fall. I'm investigating a murder that occurred at the lighthouse last night.
I heard about that. Terrible. But tell me, your accent.
I'm part of an exchange program. The United States, Canada, and Great Britain exchange detectives
Sì, come no.
to learn about the various investigative methods. Sherlock Holmes meets Dick Tracy, you might say.
If the government deems it necessary. What about Inspector Collier? Shouldn't he be accompanying you?
He's sick today.
I see. He is getting on a bit. How can I help you?
Phew.
È caduto davvero giù, eh? Aspetta, è ancora vivo.
This Lewis has a bit of an abrupt manner.
He's Welsh.
Ah,
He came with his mistress, Lady Eleanor, when she moved in here after the death of her husband. He used to look after her castle's gardens in Wales. He used to have a
Ah,
different kind
ecco chi
of
è.
work ethic there.
Lady Eleanor owns a castle in Wales?
She does. Her husband, Sir Richard, was killed in a dreadful accident a few years back. She moved here soon after that.
Interesting.
Hai capito? Quindi lei dal Galles si è trasferita qui e insieme a lei è venuta anche il giardiniere. Il marito è morto.
A witness saw an unusual black car at the crime scene.
What do you mean by unusual? The Gordon family does have a classic 30s English automobile in its possession.
Unusual enough. Were you up on the cliff with the car this morning?
The ladies haven't driven out anywhere today. And I also don't think that Lewis has taken the car either. Ask him. He looks after the car. Mainly when he should be looking after the garden.
You said ladies.
Lady Victoria, she owns Black Mirror Castle, and Lady Eleanor is a relative of hers from Wales. The ladies are the last of the Gordons. They reside here in the castle.
Can I have a word with them?
I would prefer it if you didn't disturb them. Lady Victoria is not a young woman.
No harm in a few words, surely.
Whatever there might be to discuss, you can also discuss with me. I've been involved with the Gordons for more than 70 years. I can tell you everything you may wish to know.
Ah, guardate qui. Che castello!
This is an amazing property.
Indeed. It's a place steeped in history.
Unfortunately, all that history often had plenty to do with blood, death, and misfortune, from what I've heard.
The Gordon family was often put to the test. That's true.
Forgive me for putting it like this, but the castle doesn't make the best impression.
I don't understand what that has to do with your inquiry, Mr. Falk.
This woman has been murdered. Did you know her?
Are you sure, sir?
Sadly, yes. Her name is Angelina Morgan. You seem to recognize her.
Come with me, sir. We'll have to show this to the ladies.
Fine.
Oh, stavolta.
One moment, please, sir. I'll announce your arrival.
Una vista dall'alto del castello.
What was that in the mirror?
Mr. Falk, their ladyships are ready to receive you.
Mr. Falk, is everything all right?
Yes, thank you. I didn't sleep well. Lady Victoria? Lady Eleanor. My name is Inspector Falk. I'm investigating a murder case.
Bates said you had a photograph of the victim.
That's right. Do you know her?
What's her name?
Angelina Morgan.
I don't know her.
If that's everything.
I do have a few more questions.
It's all right, Bates. Of course, we will be glad to cooperate with the police.
E dai, che è uguale al
Drive to the village
nipote.
and do
Guarda
the
il
job
viso.
I asked you to do. I'm sure the inspector will keep us company.
Very well, Mom.
So, how can we help you?
You seem to be extremely keen to see the picture of the dead woman, and Bates had a noticeable reaction when I showed him the picture. You are sure that you don't know this young lady?
Quite sure. Only we are concerned. The murder took place quite close to here.
Not the first.
Sadly, you're quite right. It's now. It's 12 years ago, you understand? So many years. And now there's another murder.
Tell me about the series of murders 12 years ago.
No. It doesn't have a thing to do with this crime.
Leave all that alone. Please confine yourself to this murder case. This is quite bad enough already.
Ha ragione.
Your butler Bates seems to be looking after you.
He has been our butler for decades. He is something like the decent soul of this house. He sees it as his highest duty to do all he can for my well-being. Also, even if he neglects his own welfare.
Is he ill?
Yes, I fear he is. We've often suggested that he sit with us and enjoy some peace and quiet for a while. But he always strictly denies that he can no longer fulfill his obligations. We've recently taken on domestic help to at least help him out a little.
May I look around the castle? I'd very much like to talk to Lewis one more time.
Of course. We have nothing to hide. Stay as long as you like. Only please keep away from the private rooms.
That goes without saying, ma'am. No. I don't want to look in there again. Huh. The plant hasn't been here long. Considering the amount of light it gets, it's not gonna last long either. A huge metal globe. A monstrous thing. There's some letters engraved in the stone plate on the globe's pedestal. There are names. A whole series of them. Wait a minute. The first name is Maximilian Mortimer Gordon. That's the name from Angelina's notes. Does that mean... Huh. I can't hear anything, but the stone slab could be the lid of a secret compartment in the globe's pedestal, and it would be an ideal hiding place for a piece of mosaic.
In effetti.
A small fire for such an impressive fireplace. Huh, you know? The old ladies here seem to be a lot tougher than back in the States. Over there it'd be at least 25 degrees in every room. Jeez. Now that's a friendly-looking face. That's how I imagine a bloodthirsty Russian Tsar would look like. Wild eyes, evil glare, and expensive clothes. I'm quite sure that he didn't earn the bling on his fingers and round his neck through hard work.
Sì, sì, col duro lavoro.
I'd say something like a knight or a nobleman. And judging by his clothing, he must have been around 100 years ago. He seems somehow familiar. Probably an ancestor of the Gordons.
Andiamo prima in esterna, va.
Looks as if the ivy has killed the tree and is now attacking the house. Quite convenient for a burglar, but as long as I'm allowed to roam freely, I'm not gonna start climbing around on the facade.
Che bello, come è fatto? Ah, un'altra visuale?
An ancient well. I can't imagine that it's still in use. Even this place must have a normal water supply by now. There used to be some sort of device hanging on this frame, which brought the water to the surface. There's nothing about the well that interests me, and hopefully nothing in the well either. Who have we got here? Huh. This thieving magpie in a raven suit has something I need. I bet the raven stole the piece of mosaic from Angelina's backpack and brought it here to its nest. I bet the raven stole the piece of mosaic from Angelina.
Ammazza, fin qua giù.
Apparently, these things are to blame for the English still driving on the left. If you were to guide your horse with your right hand, you'd run the risk of being squashed between the wagons. Judging by its condition, the car was probably in use up until a few years ago, but it's been standing there for some time now. An old wooden staircase. Probably leads to the stableman's room. I don't want to go up there. It doesn't look very sturdy. I don't want to go up there. The gate must have been replaced a short time ago. The wood still looks new. But I don't think there's anything suspicious about that. An old wooden ladder. It seems to have been used a lot. The rungs are really worn and smooth.
Una scala?
The best of British technology. At least it used to be.
Ah, ha fatto la battuta.
Lewis toolbox. Various wrenches, a cloth, a hammer, pliers, all the things you need. Huh. I think I'll take the big hammer. I could also use it as a weapon if I need to, which might be the case in this place. I don't need any more. Huh. Ralph was talking about a shiny black car. Is this the one he saw? But who drove from the castle to the crime scene this morning? What were they doing there? I don't even know about American cars of the last 10 years. My knowledge of English cars from the first half of the century is absolutely zilch.
Ah, non l'avevo mica vista, Luis.
Hey, Lewis.
You again? I thought you'd been thrown out.
Lady Victoria gave me permission to have a look around the castle and the gardens.
How nice of her. What do you want?
Lewis, do you believe in ghosts? Some tourists claim they've seen some here.
Oh, yeah, the reputed ghost. They besieged us for weeks on end after Murray planted that rumour. A whole pack of them completely trashed the garden.
Bates seems to be very tired.
He's terminally ill. The doctors say it's a miracle he's still alive. But let me tell you, Bates will kick the bucket on the very same day that Lady Victoria dies. Like a dog that follows its master. I think he just finds it unfitting to die before his mistress.
He says he's worked for the Gordons for more than 70 years and that he knows all their secrets.
I'd believe that at the drop of a hat. No one knows the castle and garden better than him. But when it gets to his own bonce, he's getting forgetful. The loyal soul. That's why they've given him Sally, I think.
What can you tell me about Lady Eleanor?
If you want to know something about Lady Eleanor, then you better ask Lady Eleanor. She's her own favorite subject.
You mean she's egotistical?
She threw everything away and fled here in a mad rush after Sir Richard died. Who does such a thing?
The castle and the garden in Wales reminded her of her dead husband.
And she should have thought of the family history. You don't just give up an house where generations have lived and worked.
How did her husband die?
He blew himself up, did all kinds of strange experiments. In the last years, he became obsessed with uncovering the secret of what drove Sir William and his sons insane. He hardly left his lab anymore, and collapsed in exhaustion more than once. Her ladyship was very worried.
What can you tell me about the castle?
Nothing. A big, ugly building.
With an overgrown garden.
What have I got to do with that?
Aren't you the gardener?
My garden's a few hundred miles west of here.
C'ha ragione.
That's right.
So you just do the bare minimum here, if at all.
The garden's too big for one man alone, and what's the point in looking after it? This whole place is doomed. The house is falling apart. The lady won't live for much longer, and Bates is as good as dead.
You're hoping that Lady Eleanor will return to Wales when Lady Victoria dies.
Perhaps.
Vuole tornare in Galles? No, ha anche ragione.
That's a nice car.
Certainly is. The only decent surprise here. I discovered it behind the stables, built it back up from scratch. My father used to work on a car like this, and he taught me quite a bit.
Do you sometimes take it out for a spin? To the coast, for example?
I drive the ladies. They used to still have bloody horses in the stable, but looking after them was too much effort for the old folks. Now, this is the only pair of wheels. But the ladies don't leave the house much at all. Bates usually walks to the village. He says it's good for his health, but every time it takes a bit longer.
You weren't at the coast with the car this morning.
No.
Well, see you later.
Not if I see you first.
The floor here is rain-sodden and very muddy. The floor here is rain. He doesn't like that at all. I gotta be careful. Ravens have got hard beaks that are as sharp as knives. They can really make a mess of you. I'm not gonna throw a hammer at it.
Facci col coltello.
Even if I wanted to, I couldn't hit him. I've never thrown a knife in my life.
Ancora la chiave. Che ci deve fare? Non si sa. Proviamo. No. Per me muore.
Ow!
Ecco. Gli devo dare qualcosa per sviarlo. In modo che posso salire?
The critter starts pecking at my fingers as soon as I get near the nest. As long as the birds in the nest have got no chance. That's probably the Gordon's family coat of arms. I don't know anything about heraldry. There are complicated rules about creating and reading coats of arms. It probably means something like, "We are a very old family, but unfortunately also quite insane. Please keep your distance."
In parte è vero. Leggere la radica. Sono in pochi lo sanno fare. Bene, andiamo. Qui dovrebbe essere la biblioteca. Per la signora se n'è andata, la padrona di casa.
Lady Victoria's on the phone. Let's see.
Don't we have a photograph?
Young man. It's not befitting, even for a policeman, to eavesdrop behind closed doors.
I didn't mean to. Pardon me. Were they talking about me? But why should Lady Victoria, of all people, cooperate with the Order? She's got more of a reason than anyone else to want to put an end to the curse.
Perché è una tua parente. E ha visto la somiglianza con tuo padre. Ah, eccola la ragazza, Sally. Ok, da te.
A few teaspoons. They're all well polished and lined up in a neat row. I'm just gonna take a spoon.
Ne serve uno.
Two little metal pots. Judging by the layer of dust, they're no longer used. No.
Hanno rifatto la cucina qua, allora perché qua giù?
A kitchen range that could really only be found in furniture catalogs of the last century. You can't really make out anymore what this picture's supposed to be. Perhaps it's not such a good idea to hang pictures directly above the stove.
Non posso dargli torto.
Well, the dishes are well looked after, but you can't hide their age. They're becoming faded. Hello.
Oh, hello. A living soul, here?
My name is Falk, Inspector Falk. I'm a policeman.
A copper? How exciting. I'm Sally.
What can you tell me about Lewis?
A disgusting man. I was hoping when I started he wouldn't be a snob like all the others are here, but he's just as boring and in a permanent bad mood. I never get more than 3 words out of him.
Ma pensa un po'.
I don't suppose there are pictures of all the cooks who have worked here by any chance.
No idea. Must be ages ago, though, since there was an actual cook here. Ask Bates, he knows everything.
I'd prefer not to ask either him or Lady Victoria.
Then I don't know either.
Do you know this woman?
Never seen her before. Looks a bit like a snob.
E allora questa non si è mai fatta vedere al castello, com'è possibile?
Can you tell me anything about Samuel's ghost? Apparently it's been seen by a few tourists.
Oh yeah, I've seen it too. At one of the windows. It scared the living daylights out of me. A gruesome face. I hope I'll never see it again.
Huh. That's true. At which window?
I don't remember exactly. I think it was in the Forbidden Wing.
Forbidden Wing.
Yeah, you know, what's behind the locked door in the hall.
You and Bates look after everything here?
Well, looking after. Bates does most of that. He lets me do all the dirty work, cleaning, cooking, and all that sort of thing.
Isn't that your job?
That's what he says all the time. But being honest, I'd expected something quite different, you know? I mean, a castle with such knobs living in it. You'd expect the odd soiree every now and again.
Or a cute prince?
Well, Charles is off the market now. But anyone under 80 would do this place a world of good. Sometimes it really does seem like a grave here.
Mamma mia.
What's wrong with Lady Eleanor?
What could be wrong with her? Snore. Sits around all day either knitting or reading.
Anything else?
She plays piano for Lady Victoria every now and again. In this house, that counts as having a wild party. You know, it's about time I got myself another position.
You want to leave?
Yeah, sooner rather than later. Maybe to a movie or a pop star's house. Somewhere where things are a bit lively at least.
Is Lady Victoria a good boss?
I don't know. Bates hardly lets me talk to her. When I first came here, I made her ladyship a few suggestions on how she might want to redecorate the castle a bit. Just get rid of a bit of the mustiness, you know? Since then, I always have to ask Bates if I want something from her ladyship.
Te credo. Mi ha detto togliere quel vecchiume.
Lewis seems to take care of his car rather better than the garden.
That's for sure. Ever since I've been here, he's been doing something to it nearly every day. And when he's not fixing it, he's either polishing or driving around in it.
Has he driven it this morning?
This morning? Yeah, he did. I heard him starting it up. You can't help but hear that.
But you didn't see him?
I know exactly what that car sounds like. When he's working on it, he must start at something like 20 times a day.
But you weren't able to see whether or not Lewis or somebody else was driving it.
Lewis is the only one who drives that car.
Okay. I won't keep you from your work any longer.
Ah, don't worry about it.
Quindi ha mentito.
A pair of old rubber boots. They're as clean as when they were made, though. Perhaps they belong to Lewis.
Macina caffè. Qui una volta erano appese le chiavi.
A coffee grinder is the last thing I'd have expected in an English castle. But it looks really new and unused. The door is bolted. Might lead to a storeroom or a cellar. An empty vase. It looks old, like everything. That's for hanging up meat. Or playing pirates. Oh, excellent. Transylvania may be somewhere in Romania. But don't worry, we're ready for undead in this castle too.
C'ha ragione.
Why are there only candles burning here?
E che cosa volevi? No, ma non c'erano le scale.
Stories, adventures, and fairy tales. Dickens, Defoe, Anderson, Jules Verne. These are probably the most modern books in this library. Shakespeare dramas, Shakespeare tragedies, Shakespeare comedies. Ah, poetry by Shakespeare.
Di Shakespeare.
The Encyclopedia Britannica in at least 3 editions. Will there ever be a bigger reference book? Bibles and religious texts. Some of them look damn valuable. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a handwritten version hidden somewhere here. An old-fashioned telephone. But who should I call? An old-fashioned telephone. At its peak, the British Empire encompassed around 1/4 of the entire landmass of the planet and around 1/3 of its population. The globe is from this period. The ladies probably approve more of this division of the world than the real one.
Indubbiamente. Oh, c'è l'albero genealogico.
That's the Gordon's family tree, almost the same as the one in Wales. That's the Gordon's family tree. Almost...
Tutto qui? Questa sembra l'ultima cena. Sì. Niente, non... Un tappeto sopra il parquet. Ottimo.
You've only been living here a few years, Lady Eleanor?
That's right. I didn't want to live alone in a big house after my husband died.
So you moved in with your relatives in Willow Creek and brought Lewis with you?
Lewis was our gardener in Wales. He is sometimes a bit difficult, but I didn't have the heart to lay him off. I offered him to come with me and look after the garden here.
Which he doesn't seem to do.
Well, he didn't cope very well with having to leave his garden and his home in Wales.
Lewis is here of his own free will. I don't understand why he doesn't give this new life a go.
You are young, Mr. Falk. You don't know what it's like having to leave your home behind you. Lewis's roots are in Wales. A tree withers without roots.
Why doesn't he go back then?
I've suggested it to him. I promised him a small amount of money to start him off. First, I thought he would do it, but then he stayed after all.
Strange.
He's a complicated man. He's been working for me for over 20 years, but I still don't have the feeling that I actually know
Già.
him. I think he blames me for his unhappiness. He only ever speaks to me if it can't be avoided, and I can see that hate in his eyes.
Si vede proprio che fa parte della congrega, eh?
Tell me about your estate in Wales.
It's a lovely castle. Not as big or old as this one. I haven't been back since we left. I'm afraid it's probably in a terrible condition. And the marsh has probably spread even further. It's terrible. I couldn't stomach seeing our home like that. We had many happy years there.
When did your husband die?
A few years ago, Sir Richard, my husband, was a scientist. He did his experiments in a summer house. I used to joke that he would blow himself up one day. I didn't really believe that that's exactly what would happen.
I'm willing to bet that I was in prison in Lady Eleanor's castle. It all fits together perfectly. And the phone call would suggest that it wasn't chosen at random. Did she make her old estate available for the order to use?
Perché sapevano che quel castello era vuoto e quindi potevano utilizzarlo. Non c'è niente da fare. Quel tizio, quel giardiniere la sa lunga.
What kind of research was Sir Richard doing?
He had very diverse interests. After the tragedy 12 years ago, he was mainly concerned with, well, with blood.
With blood?
He was convinced that the Gordons' blood must somehow be different from that of other people. I think he was looking for a scientific explanation for all of the misery that has accompanied the family for hundreds of years.
A curse in a test tube.
Insanity is hereditary, as you may know. Why not misfortune?
Or the misfortune is only the result of the hallucinations. That explains what Angelina was looking for in Wales. She was hoping that Richard had found out something interesting before he died. I'm going to have another look around. Goodbye, Lady Eleanor.
It's nice to see another face in this house.
Vero?
Your domestic help, this Sally...
Ah, have you already met her?
She doesn't really seem to fit in here.
With us old people, do you mean?
She seems to be the exact opposite of Bates.
That's a sharp observation. She embodies everything which is the opposite of Bates. Undisciplined, untidy, unreliable. She gossips.
Perhaps he wanted to demonstrate to you what you have in him.
I know exactly what I have in him. But I also know he's not well. He can no longer care for the house and us old ladies all on his own. I will look for the next domestic help. And it will be someone rather more industrious. Someone who will rarely take the load off Bates.
I'll go and take a bit of a look around.
Of course.
Però tenere un cappello in casa. Sì. Allora, intanto salviamo. Beh, direi Black Mirror. Semplicemente. Vediamo un po'. Vorrei vedere dove è Bates.
So much for the nakedness in England. 4 naked girls at once here. And the chap they're all entertaining really seems to be enjoying it. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. It looks a bit like a sentinel.
Ma non sembra molto inglese, mi sembra più centroamericano.
It's locked. There's probably nothing special inside anyway.
Dici?
An old-fashioned telephone. Who should I call? So much for the nakedness in England. 4 naked girls at once here. And the chap they're all entertaining really seems to be enjoying it.
Bagno. Ah, vedi che bagno!
A pile of towels. Small ones, big ones, nothing but towels. A pile of towels. A pile of towels.
Ma apre sempre questi, ma l'ultimo no?
A pile of towels. I wonder what was going on with that mirror down there in the hall. I really thought I saw Samuel Gordon. I'll probably collapse of exhaustion when this is all over. I look tired.
Una panchina
That
accesso?
is so comfortable. A bench in a bathroom. Jeez.
Esatto.
What an effort it must take to keep this old tiled floor so clean. I can imagine Bates checking twice a day to see if any dirt accumulates in the nooks and crannies in the meantime. The floor is more than clean. No grounds for complaint. The floor is more... An old-fashioned bathtub. Doesn't look uncomfortable, but it would be too small for me. I can't see anything unusual, apart from the fact that the plug is missing. That might make it difficult to have a bath. A lion's head. I think the lion was a symbol of immortality in ancient times. What's that got to do with a bathtub? Powder, makeup, and so on. Nothing of any use to me. I can't see anything unusual, apart from the fact that a tap, like any other you might have found in this country 50 years ago. It's running.
Scusa. Stanza di Bates.
The door is locked.
Il vaso non lo so se avevo controllato, ma comunque.
An antique vase or carafe. I'll leave that where it is. Damn, can't get it open. The lock is probably so old that it'd be easier to crack with a bent nail.
Una bella martellata e sistemiamo.
A large double-winged door. It's no different from the others. It's locked.
Inspector, you have no reason to be here. This door is to remain closed.
Certainly, madam. Please forgive me. Why is she making such a big deal about this door?
La proibita.
I'm sure the raven would love this shiny spoon, but if I just put it down somewhere, he'll get it and fly straight back to the nest. I wouldn't have enough time to get the piece of mosaic, and I'm sure he's not gonna give it to me in gratitude for the spoon.
Che senso avrebbe? No, vabbè.
And now the boots look like boots should. Dirty.
Dove cacchiarala lo piazzo sto coso?
The floor here is rain-sodden and very muddy.
Comunque potrebbe essere anche Bates ne faccia parte perché da parecchio tempo cioè va al paese e ci sta per parecchio tempo.
The guy who built this castle had weird taste. The castle looks really lived in from here. There's light coming from many of the windows.
Ma Bates dove è andato?
That way leads deeper into the garden. It's all overgrown and falling apart. I'd be better off staying away. I don't think I'm gonna find anything in this wilderness. I'd be better off concentrating on the castle.
Non ti preoccupare che ci dovrei andare. Dove cacchiarà devo piazzare sto cucchiaio per far muovere quella... A meno che non torni... No, no. Credo. O forse sì. Non mi pare che ci sia un luogo adatto qui.
I don't want to go up there. Doesn't look very sturdy.
Ma direi che per oggi è a posto così, abbiamo parlato. Vediamo un po' se lui ci dice qualche altra cosa e poi ci salutiamo.
Hey, Lewis.
A mazzetta?
What is it now?
Lady Eleanor said she gave you the option of going back home to Wales, and even offered some money to get you set up.
I don't know what that's got to do with you.
I just find it strange. You desperately want to go back, and are even offered some money, too.
And then? Work as a caretaker in a new bloody housing estate? I've offered more than once to look after the castle in Wales, and keep it in working order. But apparently there's not enough money for that.
So, it's not so much about going back to Wales. It's more about going back to your castle and your garden.
That's right.
What you really want is to turn back time. Unfortunately, that's never been possible. I met Sally.
Huh. The only one in the castle who's not at least one starting to decay.
Is she a good housekeeper?
She's lousy.
She often seems to be in trouble with Bates because of that.
He's the one that chose her, and turned away much better candidates.
Why did he do that?
Yeah, if you're worried about being replaced.
Then you chose the worst possible replacement, to stay indispensable yourself.
That's how it is.
Sally says that you were out in the car this morning.
Sally should keep her nose in her gossip magazines where it belongs.
So you didn't go out in the car this morning?
I said that already.
I don't believe him. Which of the old folks could have driven the car without Lewis noticing? Well, see you later.
Not if I see you first.
Te l'ha detto, non se ti vedo io per primo. Lui fa parte del culto. O della setta, come la volete chiamare. Sta mentendo. Va bene, salutiamoci dentro. Ma devo trovare Bates. Gli chiedo con chi stava parlando al telefono la signora. Spacca tutto. Bene, salviamo. Noi ci vediamo alla prossima, vediamo un po' da avanzare, magari trovare Bates da qualche parte starà. Forse rinchiuso dentro la sua stanza, ma chi lo sa. Alla prossima, bella a tutti. Ciao.